Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. Yeah, I'm out here in the garden. I got everything watered down really well because we're going into a heat wave. Look at the little plants I got coming up. Cool. It's just totally cool. That's a pepper, I know that one. That's jalapeno pepper. And so is that one. Cool. Anyway, I wanted to give you a report on a video I did earlier about using pine sol and cotton balls to keep rodents away. Okay, now I saw that on YouTube, and the guy was real sincere about saying, yeah, this is the good stuff. This stuff will chase away just all you need, just two things, cotton balls and pine sol, and you won't have any problem with rodents. Well, I have to tell you straight out from experience, that's a bunch of bull. It doesn't work. How do I know it doesn't work? Well, I told you I had rodents that got into my van because I went to bed and forgot to close the back door of the van all the way. And then I was noticing stuff was being chewed up inside the van. So, now what's this? We got a trap set off here. Huh. So, that's interesting because it wasn't set off when I came through and watered earlier. I wonder what caused that. And there was no bait in it, so I don't see why somebody, a mouse or anything, would get to it. Anyway, I don't see any holes in here, so that's a good thing. And these are all radishes. So back to the pine sol and cotton balls. So I figured, well, I'm just going to chase them out of the van and make life miserable for them with the proclaimed smell they hate of pine sol on cotton balls. So I put 3 extra large jumbo cotton balls soaked with that pine sol right over there. And I'll show you that pine sol. 2 times concentrate formula. Stronger stuff. Okay. I soaked it with those. I put them in 3 different locations in the van. And then I set some traps around. And guess what? I got up in the morning, went out and checked, and the food was eaten out of the traps, but they weren't popped. They didn't set off. And the cotton balls that I had soaked with pine sol were all moved to one location, along with some chewed up paper and stuff that they got out of my van trash can. Okay, so they actually picked those things up and carried them over to the one little area where they did all their chewing. It didn't bother them one bit. And I'll tell you, when you open the doors of the van, the smell of pine sol was really, really super strong in there. So if there was any rodents in there and that stuff actually did bother them, it should have drove them totally crazy. So that didn't work. So my new modified redneck bucket trap worked. I put that in there one day, and next morning I had a mouse in it. Then I used it out, well, before that I used it out here. And I had a hole underneath that door right there where they were coming in from. They were tunneling all the way underneath and coming up right there. So I had set the bucket right there on that circular area, and in one day I came out and sure enough I had the mouse in there. So that bucket trap works better than anything that's out there. And I'm going to do a little modification on it by putting a little hood on there that makes them have to go into the area that causes the flip door to flip and drop them in the bucket. So that works, but that stuff doesn't. And so far, I did some research. I even asked Gemini, the new Google answer machine, about what is best for getting rid of rodents in your house and garden. And apparently, the total consensus of all of the experts out there is traps. Only traps work. Any of these odors things that's supposed to chase them away doesn't work. So same thing with the rosemary. Now you can see I got a pot of rosemary right at the base of this pear tree. And I figured, well, if they're climbing up that trunk, that rosemary being that close is not going, they're not going to like it, so they're going to get off of there. Well, as you know, I don't have any pears left on the tree. They got up there and they ate all of the baby pears that were on here. But I did refertilize the tree right after that, and I got 2 more pears right here coming out. So I may get 2 pears out of this year's tree anyway. I hope so, because these Bartlett pears are delicious. So that up there is a Fuji apple graft I did this year, and it really took off. It's right there is the graft joint on the plastic tape, and that one's doing real well. Now they had been getting onto this tree down here, and they chewed into the bark in a couple of locations and caused damage to the tree. So I had to do something about that. So I put some pruning paste on there to repair the damage, because this Fuji apple graft right here, which I put on back in February of this year, has an apple on it right there. So that's a good thing. I've got that. Tomato plants are looking really good. I got to get out here and get the string supports up. That's what this trellis is for. So the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 will get tied up on that trellis. Then the 2 here and the 2 over on the far side over there will go all the way up to the grapevine trellis. That's, well, vine begins with a V, so vellus. Oh boy. All right, so everything got a good soaking. I'm hoping that we're going to do okay this year. Oh, look at the ants I've got here. I'm going to have to get something out here for the ants. Man, they are going crazy here. Probably because I soaked this whole thing down and they're liking it. But I will get out some diatomaceous earth. That usually works. And sprinkle it around. So that's about it. I just wanted to clear the air on those rodent chasers. Bottom line on that whole story is, don't worry about chasing them away. Get yourself a trap. When you've got him in the trap, you know he's not coming back, and you know he's not going to be mating or bothering any of your stuff and chewing holes and stuff. So that's the way to go. All right, everybody. I got a lot of figs on my fig tree. That's doing really well. And nothing has touched my tangelos over there. So I hope to get some of those out of there. And everything's growing nice and strong. So, happy in the garden. This is G Bear saying, man, I could use a cold beer, but I don't have any. What a bummer. This is G Bear signing off. Come here, buddy. It's still a little sore, but you're walking a lot better. That's a good thing.